Hello NBC Sports YouTubers, welcome to episode 2 of Inside the Mind with me, Arlo White. I've travelled to Liverpool today, to the Melwood Training Complex, to interview a man who is charismatic, intelligent and very talented, and whose Liverpool team are top of the Premier League going into 2019, seeking a first title for 28 years. This is the place to be right now, so let's go inside the mind of Jurgen Klopp. Well, welcome to episode 2 of Inside the Mind, and I've come here to Liverpool, to the Melwood Training Complex to talk to Jurgen Klopp, manager of Liverpool, top of the table at the moment. Jurgen, thank you very much for your time. This is just a crazy, busy, festive period that you're right in the middle of. So I'll get straight into question number 1. What is the most important part of your job as Liverpool manager right now?
Wow. I said I'm used to that, to these questions, but I don't think that I think a lot about it. I do what I have to do, actually. And so, in general, the most important part of the job is, I think, to bring the best out of the players. So the club gave us, each club gives you the opportunity to work together with a specific quality of players, and what they should expect is that you, when you are in there, to make them better. Individually, maybe, as a group, for sure. And so that's what we try to do constantly. That's actually the job. That this job never ends, if you want. So because we are all human beings, and it means there are always reasons why somebody is performing, why somebody is not performing. Of course, there are injuries, like from outside, an outside effect if you want, but of course there are a lot of inside effects as well from the boys, so how is their situation and all that stuff. So this job never stops. It's not the training and all that stuff, dealing with a lot of other things, the press, media, stuff like that, it's all important. But to be really from one side that close to the player, that you understand why they are how they are in the moment, and that's what I do pretty much.
And speaking of the moment, you are, of course, top of the table going into 2019. How big a part of your job is it now, and how difficult is it to keep the players calm and focused on the job?
Oh, I'm blessed with these boys. They are really smart. We could not have the development we had in the last couple of years if the boys would not be smart, because all teams have good footballers around the world. It's all about understanding it, how life always is, about understanding the situation in the right way and dealing with it, dealing with your skills, with your talent, with your with the group around you and all that stuff. So there's not a lot to say about it. I don't like to talk too much about the obvious things. It's like it's clear now. I come all the time. We don't talk about being champion, what we didn't do. To be honest, now we are a few points ahead. And I go in immediately in the dressing room and say, so now these things changed. So nothing changed, actually, so really. And we all are smart enough to understand that in the right way. Target for a club like us must be that we try to do everything to go to to qualify for Champions League for the next season. So that's, from different point of views, really important. It's like, of course, money-wise, very important for the club. It gives us opportunity to do different things in the future. We build a new training ground, so that needs money and stuff like that. So we want to have good players in the next few years as well. So that's really important, and that's what we still do. That's what we did from the beginning of the season, and we do that still. The only thing what we did now, and what's now different, is the basis for the rest of the season is a little bit better. And that's, of course, because what the boys brought on the pitch. So we don't talk too much. Or did we talk about it? I'm not sure. What changed now, and calm down, stay on the ground, all that stuff. That's obvious, and the boys are too smart for that.
The fans, now that's a different matter. But we'll see. Yeah. I'm going to take a left turn. When I was growing up, when I first got into football, Liverpool were the greatest club in England and in Europe.
You don't look that old.
I moisturise heavily. And then it was Manchester United for 20-odd years. Do you find, it's a long time ago, but the legends are still around the club. Do you find Liverpool's past success intimidating in any way?
No, not anymore. I think we got really rid of that backpack. That was a very important thing. I said it when I came in, that it felt like the boys were constantly walking around with a big backpack on their shoulders. That really, no player thought, I'm good enough for the expectations everybody around had. This was not an obvious thought. It's not you don't have it. It's like a feeling. It's like, what can I do? They signed me. Now I'm here. Now I have to do what I do, but I cannot change my overnight. So and all that stuff. So that's things. By the way, they start again. It's like all these stories that I don't read English press too much, but it was immediately after we were first in the table. It started immediately that in the last 10 years, only 2 times the team. On top of the table didn't get the
Christmas.
Yes, Christmas champion if you want. It was Liverpool. It's like immediately that's okay, we are that. So that's not us. So what we are Liverpool 100%. Everybody feels that, but we cannot. Nobody's responsible for the history. If that would be, if you would be responsible for the history of your grandfather or what he did or not did, that's just not possible. And so that was, I think, for us it was easy. I think the people needed a bit longer to really give us that chance that we can start creating our own story. And meanwhile, I'm in since a bit more than 3 years. We feel ourselves. We feel okay. We are good enough for the expectations of the people, and that's of course very important. It's a very important part of all. So the people are less nervous if they're only 1-0 up, because that's a fantastic thing. If you ask any people in Liverpool or any Liverpool supporter around the world, what happened in the game against, I don't know, West Ham in 1987, I think 75% of them could tell, first that, and then they scored, and again it slipped through our fingers, whatever. That's very special. Makes this club, really special. And so we know that, but meanwhile we are used to that. And how I said, if people now think about us, then they think about the last 3.5 years, much more than about the last 20, and that's a good thing.
Excellent. Again, another right turn this time. What's the best decision you've ever made as a football manager?
Signing for Liverpool.
There you go, Liverpool fans.
Yeah, because if you ask me the best, I'm not sure if it's the best, but it was in the last few years it was the best decision for me personally. And I think you asked me as a person, and so it was a really lucky punch. It was nobody could know that exactly that it will be that good. I had the Liverpool I knew as a football supporter were not the shiny. How can I describe it? Was not the club anymore where you thought, you have to be one time in your life, you have to be there, because it looked always a bit when you watched games, yes, good, not that good, not that good. You lost it a little bit. It's like if you want to watch big football, you watched other games. Yeah. That's the truth. Yeah. And but it was always in my mind that it would be really exciting and doing something like that. But you cannot never be sure that a club like Liverpool will call you and ask for if you want to join them. So in the moment when it happened, it was for me actually too early in my situation, because I thought I needed a longer rest. But when I had Mike Gordon on the phone, then it was like I felt immediately the energy is back, and the last thing I needed then anymore was holiday. So I was on fire from the first second, and so it was easy negotiation, I would say, and for both sides. And then we came together, and that was a really good decision. It feels today brilliant because we met so many fantastic people. We moved to another country, which is something I would pretty much recommend everybody. I would say do it one time now. And now, don't you see, we are not that different. So it's a lot of things are pretty similar, which is, I think, it's a nice thing to know. And so we met fantastic people, we made fantastic experiences, and it's just brilliant.
Excellent to hear. I remember you came to our pitchside desk recently after the victory against Manchester United in the rain. We had the umbrellas up. And I asked you, and I thought, for those that missed it, I thought you gave a really interesting answer, because you have changed your style a little bit this year. And I asked you when you decided that. When you decided you had to change the approach for this season, and how long after the Champions League final it was. So can you recall?
What did I answer?
You said you went on holiday. You said you couldn't think about it for a while.
Oh yeah, that's
because
true.
The hurt was, the pain was still there.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm not sure how long we had holiday, but I needed a few days or weeks really to get rid of all these thoughts what you have. You can imagine around the Champions League final. The period and the last part of the season last year was outstandingly intense. We had a lot of injury problems. We played pretty much with 12 or 13 outfield players this part of the season. And one game after that was a final. All the game, because Chelsea was chasing from behind like crazy for the Champions League spot. The others ahead of us, they took points wherever they wanted to, and so there was no chance to come closer to them. And so we had only Chelsea in our neck, and it was big pressure, to be honest. That's the biggest pressure for in football. If you want to, if you have to achieve the Champions League spot, and it's not done, and everybody's doing like it's already done and speaking to and talking to you about the Champions League quarterfinal, semi-final, final. So that was really, and I needed time to calm down. And after that, it was easy. There's always a moment in holiday. Did we do a lot of transfers in the summer? I don't think so. We did transfers, but I think they were pretty much sorted already. So there's always a moment that we say 2-3 weeks before the preseason starts, when I then really start planning things. I'm quite experienced enough to give myself time where I don't have to and should not think about football, because if you're not ready, you cannot make the right decision. So then you sit there and you think about the season, but it was obvious. I knew it before already that we have to improve in that. That was clear. But this year it was even more difficult because a lot of players were at the World Cup and came back later. But it was clear from the first session that we have to work on that. And then when all the offensive guys came back, then we had to tell them the good news as well, that they have to do different jobs and stuff like that. And yeah, that's how it always works. There's not a big secret behind.
So, talking of the defence, Virgil van Dijk is getting a lot of really good press at the moment.
Well deserved.
Well, it's a year, isn't it? Just over a year since the famous photo of him with the Liverpool shirt in front of the Christmas tree. Did you imagine it was going to go as well as it has? Has he exceeded expectations, or is this what you expected?
I was sure that he will help us 100%, and that's how it is. If a player with his quality comes in, that always helps you. Well, that's easy. But I remember his first game was the Everton FA Cup. Was FA? No, yes.
Yes,
FA Cup
that's
game.
right, yeah.
And the day before the game, I really thought it's too early. It doesn't make sense why we should rush it and stuff like that. Why? And then in the morning we had a session, and then I thought, come on, why not? Just try it. Just try it and let's see how it works. Because we had no time to train together. It was like Virgil came in and we didn't even proper talk. With new players, I don't start immediately telling them what we want. But first I really think they need time to do naturally what they do before I tell them that's all wrong and we do it completely different. And then after 3-4 days, Virgil was in. Obviously, I didn't speak to him about what I expect from him. That was nothing. And so he played it pretty much from a, yeah. He came in and played. And it was from the first second, obviously outstanding. And that's a big surprise because the way Southampton obviously defended is completely different to what we do. Or what we did and what Southampton did. We don't talk about now. But we defend much higher, so on the pitch, and Southampton is very often pretty deep. They're a good football playing side, but it was different. So, and then you speak a little bit about that, but really you don't want to give too much information because you want the player, not the guy you build now together with him in the next couple of years. And so it worked pretty well. And that was the very good sign. Of course, then it's lucky that he can score a goal immediately. That gave him, of course, a big boost. It was unfortunately since then he only scored once now.
We had to wait a while for number 2, didn't we?
So not everything is perfect.
Yes.
So that's it. Yes, we expected that he will help us a lot, that he is the player he obviously is now, I don't think he could have expected. That's how it is. If you work together with a bunch of really good players around you, it gives yourself a boost. The big number, the big amount of money we paid for him is for some people it's a pressure, for other people it's a boost, because he yes, that's the worth or whatever, that's the value, and so it gave him a boost, and he's a good football player, to be honest.
He's not bad at all, is he?
Yeah.
Jürgen, we can't thank you enough for your time at this very busy stretch of the season. I think 2019 is going to be a special year for you, for everybody involved in Liverpool Football Club. I think the Red Nation, particularly in the United States, are fully behind you, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.